I need a motion to suspend the rules.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Councilwoman Perkins Dusty.
Aye.
Councilman Questa.
Aye.
Councilman Brewer.
Aye.
Councilman Keenan.
Aye.
Councilman Sedan.
Aye.
Councilman Ballman.
Aye.
Councilman Mazza.
Aye.
President Gonzalez.
Aye.
The letter is dated November 13, 2012, from Chief Financial Officer requesting to extend the fourth quarter property tax grace period to November 30, 2012 in order to minimize and mitigate additional hardships due to Hurricane Sandy.
You've heard the reading of the resolution. What is your pleasure?
Move the resolution for vote, Mr. President.
Moved and seconded. Are there any comments?
Yes, Mr. President.
Councilman Ball.
Mr. President, I'm happy to see that they extended the tax bill for the president since the devastating blow that Hurricane Sandy placed upon us here in the city and throughout the country. I think it's a good thing that we're doing. And also, Mr. President, since Hurricane Sandy caught us off guard to a degree, I think it's imperative that we start to prepare ourselves in the future a little bit better than we have in the past. Meaning, our senior citizen building from the housing authority that need to be equipped with backup generators. Also, our senior citizen building that recreation center need to have backup generators. And also, perhaps we might, as a whole, have some portable generators and storage so that seniors might not be left in the cold and without lights for a long period of time. Whatever it takes for us to make that happen, I think we as a body need to start working in the future to make that, ensure that we be better equipped the next time we get struck by or hit by a hurricane or Easter that comes through here with snowfall, that we don't leave our residents so high from. And if we do that, people that are up in the open plaza wouldn't have gotten left along if they had backup generators in that area for them to switch on just in case we got struck with such a devastating storm. And we be a lot better shape than we are today. So, Mr. President, I'm happy to see that the extended tax bill payment, but also that we need to probably lump all those into perspective so that we'll be better conditioned. And as much as PSE&G need to do their part, PSE&G equipment is so antiquated, and they need to be upgraded. We have to start learning to build new building a better way instead of overhead string lights on the street, overhead power lines. Perhaps we need to go underground. So those kind of things that we start thinking about in the future, moving forward, to make it so we can be better prepared than in the future. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Councilman. Any other comments?
Yes, Mr.
Councilwoman Perkins Dusty.
Yes, Mr. President. I do agree with my colleague just stated. Everything that he stated is appropriate at this time for us as a city to begin to look at other ways in terms of handling issues of natural disasters, which are going to come again and again and again because of the global warming issue that we are now facing as a country and as a world. So we need to begin to really prepare before the storm, and then not when the storm hit us, and then we try to look for things to help ease the stress of the storm for our residents. I received many phone calls all throughout the city right up until Sunday of this week regarding power outages and the like. And you know, it was quite distressing for a lot of residents when they called PSE&G. They really wasn't given any real time as to when their power would be restored. Although the mayor did an excellent job in terms of his robocalls and asking everyone to inform people in the community as it pertains to when PSE&G was telling them of him information, but there was still such a lack of lag time when people restored their lights. And our seniors, they were left in almost 2 weeks without even Kennedy Arms and Farley Towers, as we know, Cherry Street, and they were without lights, and they were without any type of electricity, and they did not want to leave their homes. Just like some of the residents up at Oakwood Plaza, they was offered places to go, like Reverend Adair had his church open right there on Fairmount Avenue. A lot of them did not want to leave their home. People do not want to leave their homes for some reason of being detached from their homes, along with losing power. So it was a situation that I think we need to look in the future and begin to really prepare ourselves for 21st century issues, and that one being storms of this nature that may be more frequent than we ever seen before in recorded history. So I do concur with the councilman of the 5th Ward that we need to build something. Even the resident who came up here this evening offered to be a part of some type of ad hoc committee to begin to talk about some solutions. I had residents call me and say they wanted to be a part of, the emergency management team. And what was that all that about? Because some people felt a real need to help their neighborhoods and other people who were, far worse off than they were. So there is a cry for some residents to get involved, and I think we need to take a look at this as a council and perhaps as a city. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. Mr. President. Yes, Councilman. So then,
I just want to quickly add, of course, the storm was something that took all of us pretty much to surprise, the devastation that we all received. And I completely agree with all my colleagues. We all have to reevaluate our emergency action plan in case anything like that happens in the future. But I also, last week I wasn't able to come because I wasn't feeling well. I reached out to my colleague as well to express my dissatisfaction with PSE&G. And I think it's really important to express it here and anyone watching at home on your TVs as well. I'm so grateful for everyone that came out of state, everyone that worked hard to try to put us back in power. But something that was so disturbing was I was calling every single day, trying to get some type of notification, something for the community. And one of the last phone calls I made, I spoke with someone from PSE&G, and I was pushing a tape recorder because I couldn't believe what I was hearing. They pretty much, I was expressing my concern for the senior citizens especially. And I was expressing to them that some of them have hospital beds, and they have back problems, they're back pretty much bedridden, and they cannot leave, and it's deflated, hurting their backs more, some of them already have oxygen, so on and so forth. And I told them that it's imperative for them to make them a priority in this. And I even told them, I don't have power. It's not about me or anyone else here, because I know everyone here would let anyone in the community go first. But I told them they have to be a priority. And what PSE&G said was, the shocking thing was, they pretty much just mentioned that they don't prioritize their items. That's what the lady told me on the phone. And she knew I was a council person. They said, well, this has to be a priority. She told me, sorry, sir, we pretty much almost go with the flow, whatever we're able to accomplish first, that's what occurs. And I really believe everyone, I want to express this to my colleagues, anyone watching at home, we need to hold PSE&G accountable. They need to revisit their plan as well, make sure the seniors are a priority also in the future. So I just wanted to add that. Thank you, Mr. President.
So, any other comments?
Mr. President, if I may, I just want to make one more comment, and I agree with my colleagues. Maybe we could, in the near future, ask for PSE talk about these things. My experience being on this council for a few years is that PSE&G has been cutting their quantity of employees every year. And for those who've been following it, when the storm hit, PSE&G only had 600 linesmen working in their own company. As a matter of fact, they were relying upon 900, meaning the same amount plus half, from out of state to come in and support their effort. And, you know, it may not seem like a big deal because these guys that are coming from out of state are experienced. They don't know the intricacies of our antiquated system in Elizabeth. We had some streets down that all it took was a linesman to go up to the pole and flip a switch and the whole street went out. Because the people from Delaware that were sent to fix that problem on the street didn't know that. And I think it's important that PSE&G revisits their labor practice. They shouldn't be laying off employees and cutting back staff to such a drastic point that creates such a horrible service that they provide, allowing people to be without light for almost 2 weeks. And I mentioned this to the mayor, and he agrees with me, and I think we really need to bring them before us and give them some priorities of their own, as Councilman Sinani mentioned, but more importantly, they should really start thinking about dedicating a certain amount of employees that are definitely needed, as opposed to cutting down their labor forces they've been doing for the last 10 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Madison?
Yeah, Mr. President, I do echo the sentiment of all the councilmen. It's exactly what we discussed at a pre-council meeting. And I was the councilman that I mentioned. I was very concerned about the senior citizen center, the senior citizen units, and was also my idea because I received a lot of phone calls, especially from 33 Cherry Street, which is part of my ward. And if it wasn't for John Survey, a very dedicated boy from the city of Elizabeth, I called him whenever I was available that my phone was working. He took care of Cherry Street. I went there several times. I'd like to also say thank you to Patricia Perkins for helping out 33 Cherry Street. And I did visit my people in a different building that belongs under my wards. Each ward has a pastor, so congratulations, Pastor Cedeno, because you take care of your wards in a very old-fashioned way. But unfortunately, you might have people that might distort the information. They might pick up whatever they want to pick up and go the way they want to go out. I received, Mr. President, 28 messages from the mayor in English, and I received 28 in Spanish. So the mayor was in touch not only via email, those of us that the computer was working, and via telephone if the phone was working. I was very lucky that in my area of the 6th Ward, the lights came back on All Souls Day at 5:30 in the morning. I thought it was an explosion. I said, oh my God. Instead it was my TV that came back on again. But unfortunately, Mr. President, I had no after the 4th day, then they went off again, went back on again. I had no cell phone, I had no cable vision, okay, and no telephone because I had a package. But yeah, when the Peterstown area of the 6th Ward was completely on the dark, there were police officers coming around my ward and check with the lights and moving around the neighborhood, so that would have prevented people to do destruction in the area, because people take advantage of situations such as this Sandy storm. Before the TV that was on, we were alert that the storm was 400 miles radius, something that we never heard before. So I think we all have to say thanks to God that nothing seriously happened in Elizabeth, with the exception of trees went down, electricity went down. Most of us, we lost our food because I don't have a generator. I was praying, God, please, Elizabeth River, stay below, otherwise I will flood myself. Believe me, my basement would be probably destroyed. And, you know, I was constantly praying while I had my candles and and I checked the electricity for the battery because the governor wasn't thinking before the storm arrived, prepare yourself. So I was waiting to survive for a certain numbers of days. But like I said, everybody worked as a team in Elizabeth, and everybody should be commended. Number one, our fire department, our police department, our mayor, the lady that she spoke in Spanish, translating for Spanish-speaking people. So this is an example that we have to do better for the future. It might be 100 years from now, but I won't be around. But yeah, somebody, whoever's going to be a council or mayor, they're going to remember this year. And I thank you for all those working people and all those people that stood without electricity. I want you to know that I spent 46 years in Elizabeth. So somebody questioned me if I was born. The information was completely distorted by the gentleman because I was talking about somebody else that came from Pennsylvania and attacking and destroying the image of Elizabeth. Where just tonight, Perkins and Councilman Grover, what a beautiful show, our children. This is what I like to see as a positive remark, and that was my comment. That was nothing personal against the gentleman that came to speak and constantly pointing fingers on Mr. Mazza, the councilman. I represent the 6th Ward and I'm very proud. I came to this country legally with papers, with proper documentation, and evidence that I will never become public charge inside this country with affidavit of support. So, thanks to America, which is the land of opportunity, my great-grandparents were there before I came. And they contributed to this country a great deal, and I'm very proud of my grandparents, my grandfather, my father, mother, made me a responsible person. And that's why whatever's right has to come out. You can't just keep it inside and keep quiet. And I'm the one of the councilmen that I keep fighting for everybody in Elizabeth, whether it's my ward or Cedeno's ward or Manny Glover's ward or Mr. Keenan's ward. We are here to protect our people in the best way that we can. But there's other people that have a political agenda, and their agenda is to get information and make it use for themselves so they could do whatever they want to do or try to destroy the information. And as the councilman president mentioned before, we're going to have a person who's going to answer all this question. Councilman, where the idea came from to appoint somebody?
Came from this body.
This body yourself. Do you remember the pre-council meeting I mentioned to all of us that we should be fair to hire somebody even from the publicity department or from the whatever department or even get an attorney? So I want you to make sure that the information is due what is due. But again, people, they understand whatever they want to understand. And my supreme man above says, Father, forgive those people that do not understand what I'm saying. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, Councilman. Any other comments? Okay, I just like to add, I know it's Monday, maybe 2 weeks since Hurricane Sandy, came to meet us and destroyed, so many places, so many homes, disrupted the lives of so many families. I understand it's the worst natural disaster in the state of New Jersey, and it's the second only to Katrina. And we all remember those memories of what happened in New Orleans and that, we remember Katrina very well. When Hurricane Sandy hit us, the aftermath was that we were close to 100% without power here in the city of Elizabeth, which, was amazing to me. And slowly the power came back on. There were conferences being held with public service. They were open conferences with public officials. I know the mayor was on that conference. I was on that conference myself with them many times, also advocating, not only for my ward, but for the entire city, advocating for the Kennedy Arms, for the Farley Towers, for the Oakwood Plaza. The mayor doing the same thing. Letting them know these are the areas that we need you to come out and help. And public service being pulled by all the municipalities, because everybody wanted them to be there and go there first. And then also we had the governor telling them, okay, you need to pool your resources over here. So I know it was not to defend them, but I know it was difficult for everybody involved with that. And as the Councilman Mazza mentioned, the mayor, he did the best he could to communicate to people. Whether it was by phone, whether it was by Nixle, whether it was an email, text message, or whatever, to let people people know, update people what was going on in the city as best as he could. He even started an online petition, for those of you that are not aware, called 5 Off Credit On, an initiative that he started on Facebook. That what would happen is if your electric is off for 5 days, then the company should credit you a month's worth of service. You know, this is the initiative that he has started because of what happened as a result of Katrina, as a result of Sandy, and he's hoping that the governor and the legislature, you know, look at that, and I encourage anybody that can to go on and to sign off on that petition, that initiative, you know, that the mayor has begun, because we would like to see that, you know, move forward. So when we have these types of events take place and the utility companies are slow to respond, well then there should be a consequence, you know, as a result of that. Right now there is no consequence, you know. Right now we should be, from what I understand, we're at 100% power, however, public service, and I want the public, again, maybe listening, to know that they're continuing to work. They made some temporary fixes in some parts of our city. They're going to be going back out to make temporary, to make permanent fixes that need to be made. So that means they may put out the power again in certain areas for a few hours. So just be mindful of that. But if it doesn't go out, please don't forget, call the company, the public service. 1-800-436-7734. So most residents know that number by now. Call them and let them know that, you know, you're out of power. So this way, in case it's not them doing the work, it's something else that went wrong, you know, they can follow up with it. And as I was mentioning, with the city of Elizabeth, I want to thank everyone, the residents particularly, for their patience, for their understanding. You know, and all those that came, you know, from the emergency responders that came from the city, from the fire department, to the police department, the public works department, our tree department in particular was very busy out there, helping the crews clear the trees from the roads and homes and things of that nature. They're still busy now clearing out some of the parks, because many of our parks in the city were devastated as a result of Hurricane Sandy as well. So I want to thank them. I can't thank them enough, and also all the other states. I believe about 26 states in total came to aid New Jersey. Even the state police from Louisiana came out, you know, to help some of the shore areas. Not Elizabeth, but they came out to help the shore area, to help them guard their property and their own personal possession. So I give thanks. You know, we're one nation united, and that's what we always should be. You know, looking out for each other's back and helping each other out in a time of need. Any other comments? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilwoman Perkins Dusting. Aye. Councilman Questa.
Aye.
Councilman Grover.
Aye.
Councilman Keenan. Aye. Councilman Sedan.
Aye.
Councilman Bowman.